Hey guys, welcome back to Wheeling with Wally. I've got a quick little do-it-yourself video today, and that's changing out your Serpentine belt. My Serpentine belt's actually pretty new. I changed it out right before I went to Colorado and Utah about a month ago, but I had a lot of coolant spill out and I had a water pump replaced, so it got a lot of antifreeze on the belt, and it kind of started to eat up the belt. So for peace of mind, I'm just going to go ahead and change it again. My TJ is a 2004 with a 6-cylinder motor and air conditioning, and this is the belt I got for it. If everything goes how it should, which it usually doesn't with the TJ, this job should only take a few minutes, so let's go ahead and dive in. It's going to be kind of hard to show you guys this because obviously there's just not a lot of room in here to stick the camera in. But if you look closely kind of at my belt here, you can see all those grooves that are worn into it and the belt's kind of breaking down, and that's because of the antifreeze. You really want to keep antifreeze off of your belts. So right down here is your belt tensioner, and that's what kind of keeps all the tension on your belt to keep it from sliding off. So all you need to loosen this is a 1/2-inch drive, either breaker bar or ratchet. I'm just going to use the breaker bar. And again, it's kind of hard to show you guys this because there's not a lot of room down here, but if you look closely, there is a 1/2-inch drive square cut into this tensioner that you can slide that into, and then once that's in there, you can just lift up and you can see it kind of moves down and relieves that pressure on the belt so you can slide it off. So I think this is probably going to be the best view I can get for you guys without a cameraman, but one thing to make sure you do before you pull this off is to kind of take a look or take a picture of the belt so you know which way the belt's going, so you can put the new one back on there, because it's a Serpentine belt because it wiggles and snakes its way all through there. Now I'm going to pull up on my 1/2-inch drive breaker bar, remove tension on that tensioner, and unhook the belt from one of the pulleys, and then you can let off the tensioner, and it'll have more than enough slack in the belt now to get it off. So here's kind of a better look at the belt. You can kind of see the grooves and stuff worn in there, and it's just kind of breaking down the rubber. Again, I don't think this belt was really anywhere close to failure, but for how cheap they are, it's just peace of mind, because if I'm going to be driving hours and hours or days away from my house even, I don't want to lose a belt. I do always keep a spare one in the trunk with me, but I'd just rather have a fresh one on there for, I don't know, 20, 25 bucks, whatever I paid for a new belt. Okay, so now I have to try and figure out how to get this back on there. I know I told you guys to pay attention earlier, but I only lightly looked at it before I started the video. So the first thing I'm going to do is kind of take this loop down around the bottom, around the crankshaft pulley, and then it's both sides are going to kind of come back up around this way. So it's basically going to do this right around that pulley. It would probably be easier to do this from the bottom, but it would be really hard to film anything down there. So I'm going to fight it from up top, if I can. We'll see. Man, new belts are a pain. They just want to keep the shape that they had folded up in that little box, and they're just a little annoying. I have it around that bottom crankshaft pulley now. I have both sides coming up this way. So the next thing I'm going to do is take this right side, and I'm going to try and keep as much tension on there as I can. I'm going to take this right side of the belt, pull it over under the radiator hose, and then I'm going to take the back side of the belt down the fan pulley. Well, like I said, trying to keep tension on everything. And then I need to loop it around this pulley down on the right side. I think it's like the fan pulley. I'm not totally sure. So it's looped into that pulley now. And then I need to come around and over the power steering pulley, just like that. And then I need to come down and under this just wheel right here. It's not, I guess it's kind of like a little pulley, but it doesn't power anything. It's just for the belt to ride on. Go under that. And then the last thing to go over is the alternator. So it's on the alternator. Now all I have to do is, I had propped my breaker bar up on the airbox here, so it's actually holding the tensioner down. So I just need to remove this and the tensioner will come up and lock the belt in place. So now I'm just relieving that force on the tensioner, making sure everything is still pretty lined up, and letting the tensioner come up. peel that off for a second. And now real quick, I'm just gonna go through there and try and see if I see the belt in any improper location. And after that, I'll start the car and make sure everything's working right. So real quick, just from up top, I'm gonna try and show you guys how the belt routes through here. All the way at the bottom, that bottom pulley, that crankshaft pulley, that's the first one I put that loop of the belt around. So we'll start over here. I just want to show you that first. So your power steering pulley, it just loops around that, comes over, goes under this little wheel pulley here, goes over your alternator, then it goes down and around on the outside of this tensioner here. It goes down around that bottom crankshaft pulley that I was talking about, but then it also comes back up on this side of the crankshaft pulley and comes up, and the back of the belt goes over the fan pulley here. And then it loops back down the fan pulley and goes around this bottom pulley down here, and then it comes back up and around the power steering pulley. So it's pretty simple. It's just, I think the main thing to do is to just kind of pinch the belt in a loop and come around this bottom pulley first. So basically, both ends of the loop are on this side, and you just kind of lasso it around that bottom pulley and then work your way up from there. So now that I've verified the belt is on there how it's supposed to be, I'm gonna go ahead and start the Jeep and make sure everything works right. As long as you guys don't see a belt fly off or explode, I think we're good. All right, the belt's on there and it's working how it's supposed to be. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, please think about subscribing to the channel. I have tons of helpful videos like this on TJ's, and then I also have a lot of little off-roading footage for Badge of Honor trails and some cool overlanding trips I like to do. So drop me a comment down below and tell me if there are any other helpful videos you guys would like to see that I can make for you in the future. Other than that, feel free to hit that like button, and I'll see you guys on the next one.